What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got an important day coming up here very, very soon, September 13th, for the entire country and for Social Security, SSI, SSDI, retirement, VA, and everybody underneath the Social Security umbrella. And that is September 13th. This is very, very important date. We're going to be getting data from the government that is very, very important. You can see my cat jumping there in the background as part of the show here. But we're going to be getting this inflation report from the government that is going to be very, very important and will affect paychecks for Americans and inflation reports going forward here. Let me show you the details here. Yeah, so this is a very important thing here for Americans and Social Security, and what will happen afterwards will be very important as well. So the September CPI report will be on September 13th here. I'll show you. Yeah, so on September 13th at 8 a.m., the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the new CPI index report, Consumer Price Index report, for the month of August, even though it comes out in September. Okay, this will be the most important data releases in September for the financial markets and for seniors and people on Social Security. And this is one of the most important things here for the year and will be the second number of three for Social Security. This is because of the Social Security cost of living increase for 2023. Social Security increase for 2023 is determined because of three three CPI numbers that come out here because of inflation numbers. And those are determined based on quarter 3 numbers. And quarter 3 is July, August, and September. Now that August is over, we will be getting the August inflation report here on September 13th. So this will be very important because this will show how much everybody on Social Security is going to be receiving for their raise. This is also going to affect how much interest rates are going to be raised again going forward here from the Federal Reserve. So this is very, very important for multiple different reasons here, because this is going to probably affect you in multiple different ways going forward, whether you're on Social Security or not. They have raised interest rates multiple different times here this year. And based on this new report that we're going to get here very soon, we will see how much they're going to potentially raise interest rates yet again. And this is also going to determine the Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2023. This will be the second out of 3 reports, okay? And this determines the cost of living adjustment raise, okay? And also, it's not necessarily, they go by, you're going to hear a number here. I'll give you the number here when we get it on September 13th. It'll probably be in my afternoon report that day. Remember, new videos come out here on our channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live here. It's completely free to do so. I'll keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country. Interest rates going up, Social Security raises, stimulus checks. There's 31 different states passing stimulus checks right now, and tax rebate checks, property tax rebate checks, and lowering taxes for their citizens as well. We also have 43 million Americans getting student loan forgiveness of $10,000 to $20,000 right now also. And there's a major SNAP conference, food stamp conference coming this month as well. Towards the end of the month, I think it's September 28th, where they're expected to, or probably going to, raise food stamp benefits, maybe lower the eligibility. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of speculation on this. This is the first food stamp conference since they actually made the program. So, and the headlines say from the White House that the food stamp program is not enough for millions of Americans. There's over 40 million Americans on the food stamp program. There's over 40 million Americans on the student loan program, and we've seen what they just did for that. So could we see another raise for the food stamp program as well? Remember that last year we seen the largest raise ever to the food stamp program with the 25% increase. I'll show it to you here on the screen. Yeah, you could see here this was from actually August of last year. Families who I zoomed in a little bit too far there. Families who receive food stamps will see the largest benefits increase in history. This was from August of 2021. The Biden administration and the USDA did this last year as a temporary pandemic bonus was ending. So they did this so that families wouldn't see the kind of the loss of that temporary congressional bonus was ending, which was only temporary, and Congress, Republicans and Democrats couldn't come together to pass another pandemic bonus. But the Biden administration went ahead and just passed a permanent raise, which was 25% plus the annual bonus, which is kind of a cost of living increase in there, which made it like close to 30%. I think it was like 29% in there. That was a permanent increase, So will we see another massive increase here as well? And remember that the president can do something like that for over 40 million Americans on the food stamp food assistance program, SNAP, simply through the USDA and the food assistance programs without Congress. Okay, they just have that authority through the USDA, and similar to how they did the student loan forgiveness. He actually did that through executive order and through the education department. That was for 43 million Americans. So between the two programs, it's over 80 million Americans. And then we also look at the states that are giving out state stimulus checks, tax rebates, property tax rebates, and lowering taxes. That's over 31 different states doing that as well. I've been keeping you up to date here on that. There's over 100 million Americans getting relief for inflation on that. A lot of that money comes from the last stimulus package that was passed last year. $350 billion went out to states. All states got their share of money, and a lot of states are giving some of the money back here with their share of the money from that. So $350 billion from the last stimulus package on that. So we're really seeing a lot of different programs and a lot of different relief. Now we're going to potentially see one of the largest cost of living adjustment raises ever in Social Security. And this next number, the CPI number, will be the second out of three, which will determine what the number will be. Will it be 9% or so? Is something close like that? Will it be higher? Will it be lower? I'll keep you up to date on that. We also have a couple different bills in Congress that could provide a additional raise of that. We have 2 or 3 different bills that are looking to provide potential raise in addition to that of like $2,400 every year in addition to the cost of living adjustment raise, and to make Social Security benefits of $1,415 per year would be the minimum. I'm sorry, $1,415 per month, which would be 125% of the Social Security, would be 125% of the federal poverty level. Okay, so these are really big. Now, one big thing to cover here, early estimates showed that if the COLA raise was as much as 10%, I think it was 10 or 10.5%, that the average Social Security check could grow by $175 a month. This is based on the average Social Security check, which is, as you can see here, the average Social Security check, according to the Social Security Administration, is $1,542 a month. So if we take 10 and a, I think it was 10.5% of that would equal about $175 a month. And $175 a month times 12 is about an extra $2,100 a year. If it ends up being 9% of that, 1542.22 times 0.09 would be an extra about $139 a month. Again, based on the average Social Security check. Some people get higher, some people get lower. Again, you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, but this is based on the average check according to directly from the Social Security Administration. So again, that I guess it means that half the people get higher, half the people get lower. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But if it comes out to a 9% increase times 12, that would be an increase of about $1,665 a year, which would be a massive increase. Remember that last year was only an increase of 5.9%. Okay, so half, we'll say 6% last year, so half of that was 3%. If we get a 9% increase, 9%, 6 plus 3 is 9. That's roughly 50% more if we get a 9% increase. So that's 50% more. That's a lot. I mean, 50% is 50%, right? We'll take whatever we can get, right? Let me see here. The Senior Citizens League estimates that the next inflation report would be 9.6%. And remember, it's based on the CPIW. It's not based on the normal CPI. So when you see the normal CPI report, that's not what counts. It's the CPIW, okay? So I'll keep you up to date on that when we get that information. Sometimes it's a little hard to find that because the normal big headline number you're going to see is the CPI. We need the CPIW. As you can see here, the Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes the CPI index for urban wage earners and clerical workers on a monthly basis. We use the CPIW annually to adjust benefits paid to Social Security beneficiaries and SSI, Supplemental Security Income recipients, for the cost of living adjustment. This is directly from Social Security, okay? So it's the CPIW number that we need. A lot of people don't realize that, okay? But sometimes it's hard to figure out what that number is because that's not the number that's all over the news, and that's not the number that you see all over the TV. Unfortunately, I don't know why they bury it. It's sometimes hard for me to even find. The other bill, or one of there's three major bills in Congress right now to increase Social Security benefits, backed by Senator Bernie Sanders is the one really leading the charge on a lot of these bills, and backed by a lot of Democrats. You can see here, Social Security bill backed by Senator Bernie Sanders could give seniors an extra $2,400 a year in payments. It would also increase the solvency by 75 years. Doing this, a bill now before Congress that aims to raise Social Security payments could provide senior citizens with an extra $2,400 a year in addition to the annual cost of living adjustment, okay? This would be in addition to any normal yearly raises. The Social Security Expansion Act, there's also the Social Security 2100 Act. They're slightly different bills. Any of them that we could get passed would be great because this would be additional money and would extend the solvency of it. I'll show you why here. Introduced by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders and Oregon Congressman Peter DeFazio, would extend Social Security payments by $200 monthly for most recipients. To do so, the bill would raise Social Security taxes on Americans making over $250,000 annually, which Sanders and DeFazio said would not affect roughly 93% of taxpayers. This is because Americans stop paying Social Security taxes when they make over $147,000. It adjusts every year based on inflation, but that's when people stop paying their Social Security. That's like the cap on it, because you reach kind of like the maximum you could make uh, for Social Security that year, and that's the maximum you pay into it. So people that make millions or even billions of dollars, if you make $1 million a year, $10 million a year, $1 billion a year, all those people, or even if you make $500,000 a year, $700,000 a year, all those people in the United States, they only pay Social Security payroll taxes up to $147,000. So you think of millionaires, billionaires, people that make all the money, they're only paying Social Security payroll taxes up to $147,000. And next year it'll go up a little bit. It might go up to 148 or 149,000, but they could bring in a significant amount of payroll taxes, because there's a lot of people that make tens of millions and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars actually, and still only pay Social Security payroll taxes up to $147,000. So Social Security Administration actually did the payroll, or did the mathematics on this, and said that not only could they pay out the increased benefits on this $2,400, but they also would extend the solvency by 75 years. And what's interesting here is that Republicans and Democrats both actually want to use this as well, similar policies on this, but Republicans don't want to raise benefits. They just have, again, similar ideologies on this, but Republicans I don't know why they just don't believe in raising the benefits on this, because I get the theory on this. They don't think that they could raise benefits and also extend the solvency. I get the thinking on it, but the Social Security Administration did the math on it, and that's where these accountants and these mathematics. And again, the Social Security Administration is not Democrat; they're not Republican. They've been there for decades and decades. A lot of these employees, they work there 20, 30, 40, 50 years, depending on how old they are. And their mathematics team, their accountant team, just did the math and said it would extend the solvency for 75 years. And they could pay out the extra benefits, because there's so many people that make over that amount of money and would pay in all these extra payroll taxes. So the math doesn't lie. So you can let me know your thoughts here on this. The other thing is that Congress, or the government, maybe I should say, not Congress per se, the government could always just give back the money of what they took from the Social Security Trust Fund. They just couldn't help themselves when they plundered billions and billions of dollars from the Social Security Trust Fund. And you got to also think of when all these other major corporations are in trouble, like the banks, the airlines, the car companies, GM, and all these when everybody else is in trouble, even foreign countries, they get bailouts. When Social Security is in trouble, what are we going to do? Cut benefits and stuff? When you got to think about this, Social Security is something that people pay into. You pay into it for years and years and years and years. And even with the cost of living nowadays, I mean, the one thing I can't get over right now is the average cost of a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom apartment being almost $1,800 a month for a 1-bedroom and $2,100 a month for a 2-bedroom. This is from rent.com. These are the state averages right now. And with the average of $1,500 a month for Social Security, and we know that 50% of Americans, with that being the average, 50% of Americans make less than that. Some people make significantly less than that. And we know that people on SSI make half than that or less. How can people afford to live? We look at seniors who work their whole lives, paid into Social Security for 20, 30, 40 plus years, and can't even afford a one-bedroom apartment when they're retired, living in their golden years and supposed to be traveling the world and, retired, can't even afford a one or two bedroom apartment. I mean, Social Security is just not enough. It needs to be reworked. It needs to be raised. It surely doesn't need to be cut after you paid into it for 30 or 40 years. I mean, how are you supposed to afford a house, a car, food, rent, electric, a family, grandchildren? I mean, you look at all the things, life insurance, burial costs, all these different things that you have to afford, cell phones, computers. I mean, just think about all the things you got to afford, and Social Security is supposed to pay for it or pay for a majority of it, right? And 50% of people retire and have no additional savings but Social Security. This is kind of the world we live in. This is just kind of the facts. 50% of people retire and have no retirement funds besides Social Security. Well, this is just the world we live in. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. As always, email, tweet, and call your elected officials. These are your elected officials, and let them know what needs to be done. I mean, we're the people that live, eat, and breathe and make up this country, and your elected officials are the ones that speak for you and vote for you. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. Click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live with new videos. I'll keep you up to date here with these new bills in Congress and the data and what's going to happen with these Social Security raises, as also with the state stimulus checks, student loan forgiveness, the new state stimulus checks coming out, things on the federal level, stimulus money like that as well. In fact, I'll link you to a video here next you can watch here with checks coming out for millions of people that you might not even know about. Like I said, there's over 31 different states passing stimulus checks right now. So make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And you can give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I'll keep you up to date here. You can click this video here to watch my newest video on checks that are going out here for millions of Americans. And you can click this video over here if you want to see more information about the Social Security raises of $2,400. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.